everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to dive into a topic that's on a lot of people's mind, which is landing a job in a new country. If you're someone who's ever dreamt of working a great job in Canada, or you're someone who's looking to find ways to crack the Canadian job market, you are at the right place. Imagine this, you've just moved to Canada and you're really excited, but there's this constant question looming over your head that how am I supposed to find a job in a new country? Trust me, I've been there. From navigating what the employers are looking for and actually going through the entire process, it can be a very daunting task. In this video, I'll walk you through my journey of finding a job in Canada, the reality of the job market, and my top tips to make your entire job hunting process super smooth. Whether you're a recent graduate or a seasoned professional or someone who's just looking for a change, these tips would help you navigate the entire job hunting process with a lot of confidence. So if you're ready to turn your job search frustration into your success stories, stick around till the end and let's get started with this video. For your ease, I have divided this video in different chapters and you can find the timestamps below. So let's talk about the current job market situation. The job market post-COVID has been really tough. A lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people are not able to apply to certain companies because companies are on a hiring freeze. This situation is not just in Canada, it's everywhere in the world right now. I won't say that there are no jobs in Canada. I would say there are still jobs in Canada. It's just that there are a lot more people applying for those jobs. The only thing that has actually happened is that the competition is intense. And because the competition is intense, that is why you have to be more strategic when you are actually applying for jobs. All I'm trying to say with all of this is that you just have to take a little bit more effort than what you would have usually taken to secure a job. With this video, I really want to give you some hope and confidence that securing a job is still possible in Canada. And through my journey, through my tips and tricks that I'll be sharing with you guys, I hope it makes your process much more smoother and easier. Now let's talk about what was my journey like, what was I doing back in India, what was my job profile and everything. So in India, I was working as a public relations professional and I had an experience of about 4 years in one of the top agencies of the world. So my experience was really truly amazing in India and I gained a lot of experience back then. So when I started looking for jobs in Canada, I was not only looking for jobs in the public relations sector, I was also looking for jobs in advertising, in corporate communication, in marketing, because in my previous job I had picked up the skills that were applicable for these profiles as well. When I started looking for jobs back in India, I had received my permanent residence of Canada. Let me tell you, it was not so easy. It took me a few months to actually land a job, and initially I was not even taking the process so seriously. And while it took me a few months to land a job, it took my husband a month and a half to have his offer letter in hand. So what I'm trying to say is that everybody's timeline can be different, but the process remains the same. Now let's talk about the process. The first step is research. Do not underestimate this step, research. Take that time out in the beginning to just learn everything about your sector. If you think that you know everything about your sector, believe me, you don't, especially when you're trying to tap into a new market and a new country. Learn about what the market is like, what the companies in your sector are doing, what is the nature of work that they're doing, what are the kind of work that they're putting out. Understand everything. Just gather the knowledge in the beginning. And believe me, this research would come in so handy when you're actually giving the interviews. I cannot emphasize this enough. I'll be making a separate detailed video on how you can prepare for interviews, what to expect and what the culture is like in the coming videos. Now, while you're researching, the next step is something that you should do off the bat is check if your company has internal mobility. Having internal mobility is a great option, especially for someone who's already built credibility in their sector, in their home country. It becomes super easy to actually move countries if you have the option of internal mobility. Sadly, my company did not have. We only had the option of Asia Pacific move, so Canada was not in the option. So what happens when you don't have internal mobility, or you're someone who's freshly graduated, or you're someone who's already in Canada? So the next step is search and adapt process. Now, what do I mean by that? So once your research is in place, you start looking for jobs. You start looking for jobs on LinkedIn, on Indeed, or on different platforms that you know of for job search. I personally preferred LinkedIn and Indeed. It helped me a lot. And while looking for these jobs, I started updating my resume. Super important is to read the job descriptions very carefully. Read as many job descriptions as you can, because that job description will help you understand what exactly the recruiters are looking for. What are the tools that you need? What are the skill set that you would need? Everything that you need to know about a job and the job market is in that job description. So read that carefully and then you adapt. What do I mean by the adapt process? You adapt your resume to the job description shared. Now, it does not mean that you're going to copy paste what's given in the job description, but you adapt your resume to it. You have to dissect the job description to understand what are the kind of skills that you have. Now you have to highlight those skills in your resume. The reason that you need to do this is when the recruiter actually gets your resume, they can easily see those similar words, similar skill set, and then it increases your chance of getting a call back from them. Another advice that I would like to share is do not lie in your resume, because that is not sustainable. You cannot sustain that in every single interview, and believe me, the interviewers are smart. They will call you out on it. And I don't think the fake it till you make it concept is something that's sustainable at all. Stick to your core skills, and the secondary skills are something that you can upskill yourself on. That's something that you can learn on the go while you're doing the job hunting process. I knew that I'm good at project management, I'm good with communication, I'm good with corporate communication, I'm good with public relations. These are the core skills that I've learned in my 4 years of experience in India. And I could easily apply those. I knew the sectors that I've worked in, the sector knowledge that I had, be it influencer marketing, be it media, be it corporate communication, be it public affairs. These are the things that I've learned very well in my previous job. And accordingly, you have to give it a good thought. What are the takeaways from your previous job? What are the skills that you have? And while you're looking at the job descriptions, you have to see what are the different new skills that they are talking about that you're not aware of, and if they have such new skill set or those tools that you may not know about, this is the time that you upskill yourself. Through this entire search and adapt process, I had at least 2 to 3 different kinds of resume for different kind of job sectors already in hand, and initially I did not get a lot of response from any of the companies that I applied. Which brings me to the next topic, which is expand your network. After trying to apply for jobs, I did not have a lot of success, and that is when I figured that I need to expand my network. I need the recruiter to see that I am in the network of the similar kind of people that they are working with. So I started looking for people in the same industry in Canada, started networking with them, expanded my network, and I think by the end of 1 month, I had a very good, robust Canadian network on my LinkedIn. Now, there are a lot of benefits of having a robust Canadian network. A, you have a lot of visibility on the work that they are doing, and B, they are posting about the job openings in their company. While you're expanding your network, don't be afraid to reach out to people, to just appreciate the kind of work that they are doing, to tell them about what you are looking for. It does not always have to be very transactional. You don't have to go to them and ask them that, hey, could you refer me? Because referrals come from a lot of credibility. Not everyone is going to just refer you just because you ask them. I mean, when you're expanding a network, just reaching out to them, appreciating their work that they're doing, and just talking about what your interests are, what your common interests are, anything about the field that excites you. You won't believe that people are generally really interested to have a conversation, and there's no harm in trying, right? And in this way, you also expand your network and you're also building connections. Be really cool about the fact some people might respond, some people might not, and that's fine. Once I did these 2 steps, I searched for jobs and adapted my resume. I expanded my network on LinkedIn, spoke to a lot of people, saw the kind of work that they were doing. After I applied all these steps to my job hunting process, I started getting callbacks. And by the end of my entire job hunting journey, I gave around 7 to 8 interviews and landed my dream job in Canada. It's time for the top tips and suggestions that you must apply during your job hunting process. The first one is you must have 100% working rights in the country. Sadly, if you do not have that, it's not that easy to actually convert a job, because the first thing that they're going to check is if you have the rights to work in the country. LMIA is a very unique situation and it's not that common. Now, the second tip is related to LinkedIn. If you're someone who's applying for jobs from your home country and plan to move to Canada soon, you must change your LinkedIn location to Canada. Now, the next tip is really important. That is, you need to have a good command over your language, because this is something that's actually going to make or break the process. If you're someone who's not that confident, start working on it. It's not rocket science, it's just something that needs practice. And believe me, why I say this, that this skill set is important, is because when the HR calls you the first time, they are going to test you on these things, and the first thing that they notice is the communication skill. While I mentioned this before, really study different job descriptions when you see different job openings, because this is how you can actually polish your resume and actually understand what are the skill set and tools that you are lacking, that you need to get a hang on, and probably apply for short courses to just understand. Nowadays in this internet era, it's super easy. I learned a lot of concepts from internet and they really help me. Now, the fifth point is don't outright lie in your resume. If it is something that you cannot deliver, do not write that in your resume. There is no shortcuts in this job hunting process. The interviewers are smart. They will call you out on it, and if not, they will give you a test that you have to work around, and that's just not easy. I mean, even after you deliver your test, you actually have to explain it to them. It's okay to say no during the interview if you do not know, but it does not make sense to lie, because if you get caught on that, they're going to have a forever impression about you. I feel like if there are any skill sets or tools that you may need to know, it's fine if you don't know that during an interview. It's okay to tell them that it's something that you're working on. ChatGPT can also be a good help, but do not copy paste everything from ChatGPT. You can use ChatGPT to polish up your language a little bit in your resume, but your resume should be very genuine to you, and you should be able to take the interviewer through the resume very easily. The next step is get LinkedIn Premium if you can. Now, you don't have to get LinkedIn Premium from the start. Maybe do your process of search, adapt, research, everything, and once you are ready to actually apply for jobs, that is when you get a LinkedIn Premium, because LinkedIn Premium is a little expensive, so you need not have it from the start. It's fine to have it a little later when you're ready to actually apply for jobs. Now, why do I suggest getting LinkedIn Premium? Is because LinkedIn Premium gives you direct access to actually text recruiters. So whenever you've applied for a really good job and you want the recruiter to know about your application, you can just shoot them a text saying that, hey, found this job description really exciting and I think it matches my skill set and I think I would be able to add value to this job. So I hope you get to see my application and let's stay in touch. Something very polite, something that's not too nudgy, something very polite. It just helps them to know that you have applied for a job and you are more likely to be on the top of their minds. The next topic is something that will actually break some myths, is because referrals don't guarantee you any jobs. Referrals help you get recognized by the recruiters, but you have to go through the same process that any other applicant will go through. Referrals basically come from credibility of another employee that's a part of the company, so you're most likely to probably get the first call, but the rest of the work is yours. You have to convince and actually navigate your way through it. So what I've seen is, despite being referred, the interviewer is going to be very careful about who they actually pick for the job. But if you have someone who can refer you, that's great, but let me tell you, that will not guarantee you the job. So the next point is, you may start your job hunting process from your home country, but most of the companies require you to meet in person for the final rounds. The next point is, Understanding the Canadian work landscape and the work culture is key. If you know someone who is in Canada, working in Canada for a while, please have a chat with them, understand what the work culture is like. I will be making a video on this in depth in the coming weeks. But till then, if you have someone who's working in Canada, please have a chat and understand what's the difference in the work culture. The final tip is a game changer, and not a lot of people know about this. For your initial job hunting process, you can get a virtual Canadian number from your home country from this app called Fongo World. This is a paid app, and this will basically give you a Canadian virtual number where the recruiters can call you in the initial phases of your job hunt. Although I have to mention that this app is not 100% reliable because this works on your Wi-Fi and mobile data. So if you're in a place where there is low network, the calls will not come through. So this is something that can support you for your initial period for a little bit of time, but this is not 100% reliable, but it's a really great option to have. And for anyone who's watching this and who's come this far in this video, I just want to tell you that I know and understand that the job hunting process can be very daunting. And while this process is something that can test your patience, it can actually also make you learn a lot of new things. And I just want to tell you that it'll be all worth it. I know it's a lot of work that you have to put into to actually land a job, but it's just a process that you have to follow. You have to persevere through it. I can promise you with each interview, you'll keep getting better and better for the next one. Just have a little faith in yourself, put in the work in the initial phases, and you will actually see the results. And like I always say, trust the process. This was all for this video. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I'll be coming back with more such videos. If you like this video and would like to support the channel, please hit the like and the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.